Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to the Banter podcast. Today's the 11th of June. As always, we're your good-looking hosts, Zach Kress and Alex Crow.
If you guys are enjoying the podcast, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. And don't forget to follow our channel on Spotify for all of you guys' listening needs. Be sure to leave a comment and recommendations you have for our show or things that you would like to hear us banter about on future episodes.
Yeah, on today's episode, we're going to recap some of the recent NBA playoff news, as always, what's happened since our last episode, give you guys our updated predictions, as always. There were some crazy finishes in the NHL playoffs over the past 2 days that we'll cover, and we have a loaded UFC card scheduled for tomorrow night with plenty of big names.
Yeah, of course, we'll have some new best bets for our audience, a new segment that we wanted to share with you guys called Benched, which we'll introduce towards the end of the show. But be sure to stick around for that. And we have lots of disrespect for some players coming up for that. We have our banner of the day, which you guys will definitely want to stay tuned for. I should probably give an introduction to our guest of the pod, longtime friend of the hosts, Jay
Yes,
Katina.
sir.
What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm Jake.
What's going on,
Grew up
Brody?
with kids, day ones. I'm just here to chill and talk about some sports.
Yeah, get a little
Yes,
bantering
sir.
with our high school Brody. So yeah, let's start off with some recent NBA news or playoff action that we saw over on Wednesday night. The Nuggets and Suns game 2.
This game was not quite as exciting as game one. I
No, not at
mean,
all.
it was a blowout. I think the Suns ended up winning by 25. Got the series up 2 nothing now. I mean, they shot lights out from three. The Nuggets couldn't shoot anything. MPJ was slow again. I don't know. The Nuggets look lazy.
Hmm. Yeah, it's hard to stop when all five of the Suns can do whatever they want, pretty much out there. And that's and
Yeah,
that's and that's what it's looked like. It's back to that MPJ Bridges matchup. Once again, Bridges gets that upper hand. I mean, shooting only 3 of 13 from deep is tough. You gotta set that up for game 3, I think.
yeah, and the big story here is that all of the Sun starters were in double digits, so they're spreading out the scoring. They look good as a team. They look ready night in and night out, and I my Nuggets prediction is not looking very good at this point.
I think the Nuggets need some help. Once again, Jokic can't do it all. He needs a guy to step up to get him back out of this 2-0 deficit. But it's hard when Devin Booker and CP3 are just taking over like they have. I mean, you think there's a sweep out in our hands here or something, or
Jake,
No, I don't think so. I
no
think
sweep?
I think Mike Malone, Denver's coach, will adjust. I think Jokic will be a lot more of a facilitator. He'll probably have like more like 15 assists. I think. Um, but I don't know. I expect Denver to come back, win Game 3. They've done it before, and they know that they just can't get down 3-0. I mean, we saw it with the Bucks, with the Nets.
Hmm.
So they're just gonna find a way. I mean, I wouldn't bet them on the spread. I don't know what they're gonna be, but
Yeah, but I don't know.
they'll find a way to make it 2-1, and then from there, who knows?
I agree. I think that's going to be the storyline across a lot of these playoff games is with teams going down 2-0. We saw what the Bucks are able to do with the Nets, and you just got to find ways to scrap out wins. It might not be pretty, but
Mm.
they're you're going to have to do it. It's playoffs, and
Yeah.
Playoffs?
if teams want to survive, Game 3 is the pivotal one. So
Yeah, I mean, game 3 is tonight, actually, when we're recording this. So, Jake, you called they're winning game 3 tonight?
Oh yeah, I
I
forgot about
mean,
that.
yeah. So, I mean, that spread was it's -2 in Denver's favor. So it's back and home in Denver. So, I mean, if I had to make a little prediction for you, I'd have to go Devin Booker once again. You can't fade him. I'm going Suns again. Give me +2 on that once again. I mean, they're the team. They're probably the second team to beat in my eyes right now. Right behind the
yeah,
Nets. Yeah.
uh, I think I would probably side with Nuggets on this one just because I think they're well coached and they have the
Mm,
MVP of the league, but I expect another close game.
yeah.
Um, just leaning Denver at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should get into the next game because we briefly mentioned that Bucks Nets game was close. We
Mm,
had a couple bets on it. We'll recap later. But yeah, game 3 was last night. 86-83 win for the Bucks.
Bro. Ugly. Jake, I want to hear what you had to say about this.
I don't know. It was tough to watch.
I
I don't
mean,
know. My favorite part of the game was when the security guard ran out on the court, bro.
yeah.
Why was he so OC? He was just like he just ran out there and like boom. Like PJ,
Started
PJ was
hitting.
like more mad at him than KD. Like after he did that, like if you watch it, you'll see PJ and he was like, dang. Like,
100%.
I don't know. They just trying to get in everybody's business.
Oh
I
man.
know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was the tale of a weird first half. I mean, split both ways. One goes 30, one goes 11, and then the Nets go 30. Bucks go 15. And then that second half was just awful to watch. I mean, no scoring, sloppy. It looked like it was oh,
It was terrible. The Bucks, like, I can't believe the Nets lost that game,
that's
especially
what I
like
was saying.
looking at the Bucks stat line, seeing that Giannis and Middleton, what they had 68 of the team's 86. They had 18 points from players other than Giannis and
My
Middleton, and the
goodness.
Bucks lost.
Yeah.
That's uh, and the Bucks or sorry, the Nets lost,
Nets lost.
and
And I
they only
mean,
scored 83 points. That blows my mind. Joe Harris shot 1 of 7 from three.
that was
I
he
know you got some
smoking.
thoughts about that. I know
That
you
was
got
he
some thoughts
smoking
about
last
that.
night. I thought he was the best catch and shoot shooter of all time. And he goes 1 of 7 from the three? Oh
He's on the
my.
Nate Diaz pack.
Oh
Bro,
my
there,
God.
dude, there was one shot where he had it was like an elbow jumper, and
Yeah.
you just knew it was
Oh,
not
I know
where he
exactly
looked.
what you're talking about.
He was so wide open. He looked like out of rhythm, kind of. It was
hmm
weird.
Wide left. He missed it. Yeah, it was terrible. Oh,
Um,
this game.
it,
Yeah.
I know you got some thoughts on Bruce Brown as well, Zach. So I want you to talk about that a little bit.
Bruce Brown. I mean, Bruce Brown, he sold the game, did he not, in the end?
Come on, man.
He-
Why is he the one taking two game-winning shots? There's a floater that we could talk about, and then that scramble in the end that he decides to go and run in, and I don't know what the hell he was thinking, trying to get a foul or make that. He had to be
he was hot all
thinking.
game.
He had to be thinking
He
in
was
his head.
bro.
He was
KD and
hot all game.
Kyrie have never made a game-winning shot in their life. This is on me. I gotta do this. The hell is Bruce
He
Brown thinking?
he had some confidence going. I can tell you that much
My
because he was playing out
goodness.
of his mind before that. He was pump faking Brooke Lopez out of his
Brutal
boots.
Lopez.
That was hilarious. But yeah, no, I agree. I don't know what he's doing. You got Kyrie and KD,
I mean,
Joe
I
Harris.
think,
You could literally
yeah.
pass to anybody but Bruce Brown. If you watch the rest of the game, the Bucks didn't. If Bruce Brown was on the perimeter, it's like Giannis for the Nets. He's wide open. They're not going to cover him on the perimeter. So Bruce Brown should
Hmm.
not be shooting anything that's not in the paint. Clearly, because that's all he was making.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
mean,
I wonder what's gonna happen next game, um, because that was a weird defense. They chose to throw Brook out there,
Mhm.
and basically, like you said, they just weren't guarding him. So I wonder if they come out with something different next game. Maybe they go smaller. I don't know. I don't,
Is there any news on Harden for Game 4?
I haven't seen
Have you
anything.
guys heard? No.
I don't know.
No.
Okay.
I mean, they're gonna leave Giannis wide open again. Blake Griffin is doing the best he can in the paint to stop that man. He's hustling his ass off, grabbing every board. He's blocking him. I mean, if they didn't have Blake, they'd be in a little more trouble, I think.
Well, yeah, somebody's got to do it. And yeah, if you're gonna stop a fullback dive, you better put a middle linebacker on him. So
Fullback.
it makes sense that they got Blake Griffin guarding Giannis because he just tries to play bully ball and Blake just
Yeah.
sits in front of him and eats everything. So
I mean,
smart by the Nets.
yeah, we'll see game 4. We'll see how that turns out. Let's talk about the Clippers Jazz game that was yesterday as well. I mean, I wasn't really shocked about this.
That was a close game as well for most of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a game of runs. Conley was out. Uh, the Jazz look like the team to beat. I think they look extremely confident. Uh, Donovan Mitchell is ridiculous.
Hmm.
He's just a different breed in the playoffs. scoring over 30 points every game. I mean, I think he almost put up 30 in the first half last night. So
It's ridiculous. He doesn't miss. That's,
no, he doesn't. It's crazy. And the Clippers need help other than Kawhi, and he didn't play great last night. Paul George had a decent stat line. We'll talk about him later as well. But again, he stat line was okay. He played bad. If you watch the
yeah,
game,
he
it
played
was not
terrible.
impressive whatsoever.
He took shots that shouldn't have been shots. He turned the ball over. And I mean, like he had 27, 10, and 6. It looks nice, but if you watch the game, he just didn't play well at all in my mind. So,
His defense is what surprises me. It looks so just lazy right now.
mm,
He looks tired on the court. He's supposed to be a pretty lockdown defender.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with the Clippers. I mean, it just didn't really seem like. I mean, Donovan kills you game one, and then he kills you game two. Like what are we doing, Ty Lue? Um, but I got two things. Jazz, they had great, like, usually when your star is going off, like your star or your like supporting cast, like they don't really need to. But this was like a unique game where Donovan was going off, and then Ingles, Clarkson, even Gobert had like a good day, like a good
Bogdanovich.
game. Yep. And so like just everyone was cooking basically. Like they were just getting easy shots.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, Donovan
Did
Mitchell
he
is
did he have a
insane.
second point?
No, I mean that was my second point.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Oh, I was gonna say PG should take the ball to the hole more. I mean, he's like making a move and then he's like shooting a fadeaway. Like
The-
he should start like going at Gobert because I mean you can't like that's how
At the
you score
DPOY?
on shot blockers. You go through 'em.
Okay.
Right.
He needs to
Right.
put
They
his shoulder down.
they need to get Rudy in foul trouble. And if PG is not making his threes or his jump shots, the one thing he is doing good right now is making his free throws. I think he was like 9 of 9 last night, and
Yeah.
he's averaging like 10 free throws right now a game in the playoffs. So
Right.
if he's getting 8, 9, 10 free points a game just shooting free throws and nothing else is working, then he's at least helping the Clippers that way. So I think I agree with what you said. He's got to if something else isn't going, he's got to figure out a way to help the Clippers elsewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be hard to beat the Jazz.
I agree.
Clippers are going to have to do pretty much everything they have. I mean, they're going to need Paul George to play good. They're going to need Kawhi to do what he's still doing. And I don't know. I think it's just hard with Donovan Mitchell and like everything Jake said, all these guys can do what they need to do. So I mean,
I think it's a testament how good the Jazz have been this
yeah,
year. I mean, they people doubted them through the regular season. They consistently showed up, and they're still getting doubted in the playoffs, and they continue to show up. This they're a real deal.
hmm
That's gonna be an interesting series if they win and then Zach's Suns win. That'll be interesting because Zach thinks the Suns will probably advance, right? Because you said
Suns will advance.
on and Nets, so I don't
Yep,
know.
Suns
Jazz
will
and
That's
advance.
gonna go
Suns.
6 or 7 for sure.
You said what?
That's gonna go 6 or 7 games for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's
Oh, yeah,
running
I
away
could.
with that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that going 6 or 7. Yeah. So I mean, that's some recap on the recent NBA playoffs from the last 2 days. The other night we had the Islanders advance over the Bruins, which was a little bit of shock. They came back from 2-0, won 4 straight. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, there's not much to say there. They're gonna go ahead and play the Lightning tomorrow night,
No,
and no, it's Saturday they play.
Sunday.
Is it Sunday? The
Yeah,
12th,
the Sun 13th.
13th. They play the 13th.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and the Lightnings are heavy favorites to start that series out. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out in that first game. And oh, my trusty Golden Knights, they advanced as well, keeping me alive. Maybe throw another bet on them in the future. I mean, they won
Gotta go back.
6-3.
Gotta go back to the well.
Got to go back to the well. You think? I mean, they did me well, 1-1.
they
So you got to play it again, right?
I mean, we talked about that I think in the second podcast that we were rooting for the Wild to beat the Knights, but the Knights just look. I mean, we've been watching them a couple games now, and they
Might
just
as
look
well
like the team to beat. They look good.
lose to the champs,
Right, right.
right?
Uh, they should make it to the finals pretty easily. They play Montreal, who
Yeah,
wasn't even expected to make it to this point. Vegas is negative 600 favorites to advance in that
that's
series.
crazy.
So yeah, Vegas versus who knows, Islanders or Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
It'll
Who do
probably
you
Probably
think?
lightning. Probably lightning in my
You
eyes.
think Lightning
Yeah, if I had to bet,
going
it's yeah,
favorites?
going favorites. I mean, Tampa Bay
Yeah,
was electric all year too. Their fans are insane too. So
they're returning champs, right?
I believe they won last year. Yes.
So uh, Islanders in the upset. Let's go Islanders and the Habs.
Oh, oh,
I
A
like
little
that.
underdog story.
okay. I like it. Might as well send it.
Uh,
I mean,
Well, we got a little more NHL news with MVP candidates announced, right?
mm-hmm.
We got Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, and Nathan McKinnon, three young guys.
Yeah, I
It's pretty
mean,
cool to see.
yeah, 25, 23, and 24 years old. Kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
that
These
is
guys are
crazy.
all young
That's
and they all had
2
great
years
years.
older.
Nathan McKinnon is my favorite to watch. He is deadly with the puck. He can pass, score. He's fast as hell on skates.
Yeah, he is. I don't think there's any way that McDavid doesn't walk away with the trophy or the award though. He
Yeah,
had a ridiculous year, second in the league in goals, first in assists, first in the points by a mile.
I mean,
He's gonna take that trophy in a landslide.
102 points by himself.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
in a shortened season.
Yeah, I mean that's nutty.
So yeah, that I think that gets announced fairly soon here. But congrats,
Okay.
early congrats to Connor McDavid for taking
We
that
are
one.
we are on the early calls, aren't we? God, I
Yeah,
love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
that's not a bold
even
one.
though they got swept in the first round.
Mm,
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have to talk about that though.
NHL season's weird this year. I don't.
Yeah,
That was
I
weird.
don't watch much hockey like during the regular season just because I'm like a basketball guy more like
Hmm.
NBA. But when you watch a playoff game and you see those guys, like you just know that they're superstars because like they're all lightning fast. They all have great handles and just
Yeah,
it's just auto snipes when they get a chance. So
yeah, it's crazy.
um,
It's fun to watch
Oilers
playoff
don't have a
hockey.
defense, so they can't do anything about it. But
Hmm.
Right. Well, yeah, I think it's time to talk about our new segment for the show,
Yeah.
which was actually an idea from one of our listeners that uh, was recommended for us. So we're going with the name Benched. And the reason for that is in this segment, we're hoping to do that every time. We're going to highlight either a team, an athlete, it could be a coach, possibly an organization that, in other words, should be riding the pine. This could be due to poor performance, bad behavior, lack of ethics off the field, just a wide variety of things. But um, anything that we think um, could get you benched. So I think for the first time we did this segment, we're gonna start off with somebody pretty easy. We mentioned them earlier, um, but they got a nice nickname to their name. They're gonna be headed to Guangzhou next year. We talked about that before. Um, Zach, you got a nice introduction for our guy.
I've been thinking of like six names this whole time, and I don't know what to say for him. We might as well just say his real name, Paul
Oh,
George. He's gonna have to ride the bench. I
we
mean, go ahead, go ahead. Tell me why we chose this man for the bench segment.
uh, we've given a lot of hate to Paul George. I brought up some stats from last year and this year as well. Just a little comparison of the two. So last year, um, between the regular season and playoffs, his points were down about a point and a half. Rebounds and assists are about the same. But then you go into his shooting numbers, and he shot about 4% worse from the field, 8% worse from three. So you're like, okay, maybe it's a bubble. Who knows? Pandemic P. He got his nickname right. You think he's coming back? He has a good regular season this year. He goes 23-6-5, averages 46% from the field. Again, shoots over 41% from three.
That's great.
All right. Paul George is back, right? No.
No.
Gets to the playoffs. Points per game, same. Rebounds per game is up 3. Assists
Yeah.
per game is the same. I mean, given they play small ball in the playoffs, they've been playing small ball, so he's grabbing more boards. He's shooting 3% worse from the field. His 3-point percent is down 10% in the playoffs alone.
He's almost shooting 30% from three.
It's
This
10%
playoff.
worse.
Oh, that's terrible. That's 10 shots. It's like what?
10 out of 100. He's making 40 out of 100 in the regular season. He's making 30 out of 100 in the postseason.
My God, he's supposed to make shots for the Clippers. Like he stands on the 3-point line and shoots.
When they need him to step up most, he
It's
puts
not.
his head between his legs and
Nate
he
Diaz.
walks around. Yeah. I don't know what his deal is.
Something's going
It's
down in LA.
watching game 2 is like I really like don't want to like have to keep this what do you call it, like name going for him. I don't want to have to keep that storyline Pandemic P, but like he does it to himself. You
This is him in
can't
the
be shooting
playoffs.
like that. You can't be super sloppy on defense. And I mean the Clippers are going to be sent to Cancun again early.
Gonna go
They have
join
Kawhi and
LeBron.
Paul George. Come on. And
Although
Paul
my
George isn't doing
OG
anything. Kawhi's doing his part.
If Kawhi wins, so let's say the Clippers advance, right? Kawhi, they win. Kawhi wins MVP. Him and LeBron are the only ones to ever win MVP on 3 different teams.
NBA MVP, like Finals MVP.
Finals MVP. Yep. Put him in the GOAT talk. I mean, that's
They-
crazy.
We got to get there first. Paul George got to
Paul George got to step
stop whatever
up,
he's doing.
but I think he's not going to. He's
No, I
shown
don't-
us. He's shown us last year he can't shoot. Thought it was the bubble, right? As you said, but no, he's down 10% this year.
What do you think, Jake?
Bro, I don't know. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna need him to hit someone with a little like sham god or like a snatch, and then he's gonna have to go hard at Rudy. Maybe put an elbow to his chin.
He did say take it.
Sacrifice a flagrant one, but I don't know, dude. You just gotta.
did say.
I'm not ruling the Clippers out. I'm not
Yeah.
ruling them out. I think Reggie he's been a beast. Reggie
Right.
Jackson. But I don't know. I'm not ruling them out. I think they can still come back, but I don't know. It's not likely.
Can they come back if Paul George is playing like he is right now?
I mean, absolutely not. They're gonna get swept if he keeps playing like this.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that I thought, so Paul George played, I think 44 minutes last night. He's averaging 40 and a half this series already. And Rondo was the DMP last night. Serge Ibaka has now been ruled out for the season. They got other bench guys who can play. Batum can see an increase in minutes. Kennard can see an increase in minutes. They got other guys who can shoot the ball, which is, again, supposed to be Paul George's job, but he's not doing that. So they need guys who can shoot the ball because that's what they're lacking at this point. Why don't we see guys like that get an increase in minute? Paul George does not need to be playing 44 minutes a game.
Not when you're shooting 31% from 3.
Get him on the bench.
100%. Get him on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't. You can't be out there like he must be tired some possessions. Like he probably takes some possessions off. Like
Yeah.
bench him, get some fresh legs in there. Some guys who can make some shots. You know,
There's got to be someone, right? Someone on that team that can make a 3-pointer because it's not Paul George.
I mean, Rondo had a bad game 1, but I don't know.
He's a couple.
He can turn it on in the playoffs. Like
Yeah.
they need to run it through him or something.
For sure.
Yeah, let's get in. Yeah, should we head to the little big event tomorrow night?
Yeah, huge event. Big UFC slate. UFC 263.
Man, there's a lot of fights.
2 title fights. Some other just big fights. Damian Maia is on the card. Nate Diaz is on the card. But yeah, let's start off with the Israel Adesanya versus who's the champ, middleweight champ versus the 6th ranked Marvin, the Italian Dream Vittori.
Can he become the first Italian to
Ooh,
become champ?
repping the Italy shirt, Jake.
Can
I'm
he,
not I'm
Jake?
not repping Marvin, but I'm repping,
Oh,
repping
but he's
that
got the
soccer
Italy,
day.
but
Yeah.
not his boy
And that
Marvin.
won 3-0 against Turkey. See ya, Turkey.
Oh,
See ya, Turkey Schmirky.
see Turkish Ricky.
Yeah,
No, I got Anzaya.
yeah. We'll give a prediction before we go into it. I got Adesanya as well. He's big time favorite, negative 275. He beat Vittori in their first fight in 2018 by split decision. I think the judges had that fight a little closer than I would have thought, but Adesanya is 20-1, only losses to Jan Blachowicz last fight, moving up a weight. The dude, the last style bender, he's unreal. He reminds me of Anderson Silva, and just he can hit you from anywhere. He's so dynamic. His defense is so good. His counter strikes are so good. He's electric to watch.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, Alex. I just think he's gonna outclass him. Just like it's gonna be like a replay of the Costa fight. I think. Um, but Vittori's never been finished. Is that correct?
I think I did hear something like that.
Yeah.
Really?
So I don't know. I think if Adesanya wins, he knocks him out. But I don't think it gets to it's to a decision. Um, but yeah, I'm not really like a huge fan of Marvin. Like he had a good win against Holland. Um, that was his last fight, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've seen Holland take some L's since then too.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I'm with Adesanya.
Right. I think Adesanya by TKO.
I was gonna
He's
say
he's beat
Anzaya by TKO or no?
Yeah, he's beat the biggest names. He's knocked out Paulo Costa. He knocked out Robert Whitaker.
Mm.
He's TKO'd some of the best guys in the division. Um, he's beat the best guys in the division. Constantly does it. And I think if anything, he does not want this to go to a judge's scorecard again. He's just one of those fighters that he wants to prove a point, and he's coming for revenge. Not even revenge, but he wants to knock him out. I'm sure of it.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll agree there, 100%.
yeah, we the next fight. I'm really excited for this next fight. Flyweight title fight between Davison Figueiredo, the champ,
A
and the number
rematch.
one contender, Brandon, the assassin baby Moreno. Uh, this is
Crazy
yeah,
name.
like Zach said, rematch. They fought at the end of 2020. It was a draw, 5-round fight. If you haven't watched this fight, the first fight, you're gonna want to watch it before the second fight tomorrow night. But
Just swinging.
it was crazy. These guys were looking to kill each other,
My God. Yeah.
and if anything, I think it's gonna be a lot of the same tomorrow. Figueredo had some troubles at weigh-ins today. I heard using all of the allotted 2 hours, which isn't a super big surprise because Figueredo is huge for that weight. But definitely will probably come into a factor if the fight gets deeper into the later rounds. And Moreno's just a little better conditioning wise. So the deeper this fight goes, the more in favor it gets for Moreno. And if it goes 5 rounds again, I think,
Mm.
like I said, I think it starts to favor Moreno more and more.
Yeah, you'll talk a little more about this later, won't you?
Yeah, I have this fight's on one of my best bets for this
Okay.
upcoming
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. I mean, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm right there with you. They both have crazy chins. Like,
They do.
they can both take a punch. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I think they feel each other out for a couple of rounds, and then once it gets to the third, fourth, fifth, we'll see. We'll see. Who has more left in the tank.
Hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be fireworks from start to finish. These guys are gonna be swinging. Figueredo's got is one of those guys that's just got one punch power. If he hits you, he's dropping most guys, but wasn't able to drop Moreno really in the first fight. So that'll be the tail of the tape for tomorrow night, I would think. And then the third fight that we wanted to look over was a Leon Edwards Nate Diaz matchup, because who doesn't love Nate Diaz?
We should try to get Nate Diaz on the show.
I wish.
Maybe he'd want to say some words.
Yeah. He's going into the fight tomorrow as the big dog. He hasn't fought since 2019. Actually, excuse me, he said he wasn't going to fight during COVID because he's not the type of guy that wants to fight without fans. So he's back. He's already made the headlines in his press conference, smoking up a joint under the table with his own Kill 420 strain, whatever it was. So yeah, Nate Diaz, he loves to be in the media. He's got everybody's attention. He's beat Conor McGregor. He's beat some of the best guys in the division. It should be interesting. Edwards is a great fighter, number 3 at the division. Jake, you got a prediction for us?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Nate will test Edwards for sure. It's not going to be easy. But I don't know. Yeah, this thing's probably over third round in my opinion. Leon by TKO. He wants to send a message. He wants that title fight. Um, I think he comes out and puts Diaz away.
Zach?
Yeah, I'd follow Jake on that too. I mean, Diaz hasn't fought in a minute, and Leon Edwards, British man. I mean, you don't always mess with them. He could just knock this man out in the first round. So I don't know.
Give you some crumpets and tea.
Oh my god, you say pip pip cheerio, mate, get off my mat. And then
It's a
I
non-title
got
fight,
Edwards.
5 rounds, correct?
It's what?
It's a non-title fight with 5
Correct.
rounds, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Five rounds.
Non-title. Yeah, I'd probably have Edwards too.
I agree with you guys. I think Diaz matches up well stylistically just because he's scrappy on his feet, and Edwards doesn't want to bring the fight to the ground because Diaz can submit people. But I expect Edwards to find ways to get his strikes in, and he's going to hit him hard. And again, Diaz is getting old at this point. It's probably the start of the finish. So I expect Edwards, like Jake said, to make a statement. For the division, he wants a title fight. So give me Leon.
Yeah. Time for the next favorite part of our day.
Yeah, what is it?
Little banner of the day action.
So what's our topic?
And
for
this one is interesting. This is a banner. So what we have, the question is, are the Paul brothers, meaning Jake Paul and Logan Paul, are they good for MMA?
I mean, I guess I can get us started with this.
I mean, yeah. What do you have?
I'm gonna take as much bias as I can out of this one. From a fighter's perspective, no, they're not good for MMA. There's been a multitude of fighters. Uriah Hall said that he believes that the Paul brothers are doing well as far as business. They're making good moves, uh, but they're taking away from professionals who, as he said, are out here dying, working his ass off, while these guys come in here and talk some shit. And he quote unquote said he sucks. So I think a lot of these guys have also stated that if they got the chance to fight these guys, in a heartbeat they would, but then again they don't want to because they haven't earned it. They don't deserve their time. They don't deserve the respect. So from a fighter's perspective, uh, no, they're not good for MMA. They bring a lot of poor publicity. um, they they're disrespectful. They're calling out guys they have no business calling out. So yeah, I don't think that's a good thing for the MMA world. And then on top of that, I mean, like a lot of these fighters have said, coming from somebody who's been in combat sports, I mean, I know how much it it takes hours of preparation, right? These guys are putting their lives on the line. They're sacrificing
Oh yeah,
their
their
blood, sweat, and
bodies.
tears. They're cutting weight for it. So for guys like Jake Paul and Logan Paul to come in here and talk some ish to guys and get $1 million paydays to essentially have exhibition fights. I mean, they're really not fighting big names. They're not real fights, right? They're not commissioned. but they're putting on a show and they have big names, so people are going to follow them. They know how to make business moves. So of course the money's following them,
Yeah,
and
they got the
it's
money
taking
for
away
'em.
for opportunities from real fighters, guys who are actually have been training years, half their year, whole or sorry, half their life or all of their life for opportunities like that. I mean, most of these guys in the UFC, I shouldn't say most, all of the guys in the UFC would destroy either of those guys. Um, but they want to box. They don't want to. They don't want a real fight, and their boxing matches are they're not even boxing. I mean, come on, they're some
I mean, Logan did fight Floyd,
right, but
greatest boxer of all time.
they're exactly.
Old,
So,
bro.
but how are they getting that opportunity? That's
I
what I'm
don't.
saying. It's
It's their name,
disrespectful to the
right?
sport. It is, and good money moves for them, but I think it's disrespectful to the sport. It's
I
disrespectful to
mean,
the
yeah, there's
fighters.
there's no way they can just come in here and all of a sudden start fighting in the UFC. I mean, first of all, I don't think they could hang. They're gonna get knocked out left and right. Someone's gonna break their arm in a guillotine. I don't know. Like they don't know. They don't know that stuff. These guys are like trained killers almost. Like it's scary what they can do. I want to hear what Jake has to say about this.
Bro, I don't know. I think the Paul brothers are clowns, but
Agreed.
they are making money. They started on YouTube with 0 subscribers, just like
Mhm.
everyone else. Um, but I do agree they are making a mockery of the sport for sure. But I do think it could be not it could be good for the MMA for this reason. If Jake Paul somehow beats Woodley, then he's gonna be like, all right, who's next? He's gonna call out like Costa or like someone else, and then that
Right.
could give
Right.
them. But like, say if Woodley does win, then Woodley might be like, yo, like he might start getting into boxing. And we see, I mean, who knows? We might see more guys convert to boxing, or we might just see like boxers like Woodley calling out guys from the UFC, saying, "Yo, let's put on a show, make some
To
money, make a lot
box.
more
Yeah.
money." Um,
Okay.
Right.
or like the other option is it could just get nasty, and then all the fighters, all like the fighters in like the UFC, they just don't want to like fight anymore. So I think it could end up where Dana ends up paying these guys a little bit more. I think that's another
Hmm.
option too down the road if it gets like if it gets bad, if like the boxing world starts
It,
getting too much into the UFC world.
I think it already has started. I think the pressure's on for Dana. I
Okay.
think Mayweather McGregor started it all, as we can see, and the Paul brothers are continuing the charge. So if if there's one thing that's coming out of it that's beneficial for the UFC fighters, I think, like you said, that it puts a lot of pressure on Dana because these UFC fighters do want to fight the Paul brothers. Um, they they're stuck in contracts, so legally most of them can't.
Yeah.
But uh,
Didn't Connor
if
fight in a contract against?
I don't remember exactly how that
I don't
worked,
remember either.
but um, they're leaving their contracts if the payday's there. I can guarantee you that to fight one of the Paul brothers. But again, I just don't think that. I think it comes down to respect thing. That's something that a lot of these fighters will talk about as something that they hold to a really high level. Is really all a lot about respect,
For sure.
because they train so hard. Everybody knows that their opponent, that their sparring partners are putting everything that they have on the line. So there's a lot of respect that goes around in that sport. And when they see guys disrespect other fighters, disrespect coaches, trainers, the sport as a whole, I don't think it goes around well. And they're clearly making a fool out of themselves. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I really hope that Woodley knocks Jake Paul's head off.
Yeah, I'm hoping the same thing.
Yeah, same.
I'd love to see that. So that's a great little banter to see what if they did join the UFC. I mean, could happen,
Or if UFC guys keep leaving.
right? I mean, yeah,
Lots of pressure on Dana.
lots of pressure on Dana. What's he gonna do? Let's go over a little recap of our last episode's best bets. How you want to run us down, Alex?
Yeah, we finally had our first winning episode.
Yes.
So shouts out. I'm gonna give Max a little crap because he's my brother. So to start us off, 0-1 on the guest bets.
All
He
in
lost
one.
with the Clippers +3. I actually thought they had a backdoor chance with the last shot,
Boo.
but they biffed that. So we take our first L on guest
Paul
bets,
George, you can
but
blame it on Paul George. That's what he can
yeah,
blame it on.
Paul George.
There you go,
Team
Max.
belongs
That's your
to.
excuse. You can blame it on Paul George, win the MVP.
But yeah, Zach and I both hit bets in the Bucks Nets game. Bucks team under 119.
86
Thank you.
points. Thank you.
Easy cash. Zach
Nets
was
barely had
close.
it. They barely
Nets
had it.
barely had it. They
Well,
closed as
I
three and a half.
thought they were gonna win, and then that whole debacle went down. But
Yep.
yeah, they lost by 3.
Yep. Closed at 3.5. Lost by 3.
Won it. So
Get the
ended
win.
up going 2-0 on our end and 0-1 on the first ever guest bet. But yeah, that was a great week or a great episode bets
Yeah.
that we had last time. So we'll
Good
give you
start for the turnaround.
right. So now we'll get into the our next new bets for this Saturday. You go ahead and start us off, Alex, and then we'll go into Jake here because I know he's
Yeah.
got one.
Like I mentioned earlier, I'd be coming back to some UFC. I really liked this Moreno Figueiredo fight. I did a little bit of, I shouldn't say a little bit. I looked pretty in depth in this fight. Brandon Moreno has an iron chin. I mean, Figueiredo was tagging him all over the place. But like I said, the deeper this fight goes, the more and more it favors Moreno. I heard about Figueiredo's weight problems today. Barely made weight. Um, and he's gonna have trouble recovering for tomorrow's fight. So I expect this fight to go the distance. I think that probably Figueredo will win the first 2 rounds, and then it'll be 4 and 5 for Moreno, and it's gonna come down to third. So give me Moreno. Money line, likely by split decision, plus
Wow.
175.
Wow, crazy call. Crazy call. Jake, you want to back that up?
Yeah. I got a UFC pick as well, and then I'll just throw out a little random one after.
Okay.
I'm going with Hakeem Owadu. I've gone with him before. This dude, I'm telling you, this dude's. I mean, he's mean. He puts the mean in me and Hakeem, that's for sure. But he's facing some like undefeated, like Russian. And this guy has been saying he's a better striker than Hakeem, but Hakeem says, you know what? I hope you strike with me. So I think he's just under 200 plus 200 favorite. He's coming in at 188 on DraftKings plus 188.
Love it. Love it.
So yeah, I mean, I'm liking the underdog here. He's pretty confident he's gonna win. He's thinking top 10. I think he's won a few in a row now. So yeah,
Yeah, I got him at plus 185. I think that's a good pick.
go with me, Nakeem, bro. He's an animal.
Being a team.
And then I don't know. I'm just gonna say this. I've been watching a lot of French Open and women's final tomorrow. I'm gonna give you the winner, Barbara Krejcikova from Czech Republic. She is an animal. She's a mix. She's a not a mix. She's a doubles player as well. So she's actually in the finals for doubles. So she's gonna win the singles at 8, and then she's gonna win the doubles at 10.
Okay.
Who is this again?
Barbara Krejcikova is her name.
Wow.
Barbara Krejcikova.
We got some wide open bets for y'all. This is crazy.
And I will side note, I like the Nets on Sunday. I think they're only like a point favorite, but
okay. I do like the Nets as well, as always. Yeah, we'll get into my little best. I have 2, but they're in the same game because I'm just so happy about this. I mean, why? Why would they do this to me again? It's the same thing with the Nets Bucks.
I can't believe you're doing this.
I'm doing this again. The Nets and Bucks, same thing. It was 2-0, right? Well, guess what? Now it's the Jazz and Clippers, 2-0. Utah plus 4.5. Give me that. I'm all over it.
You're doing the opposite.
Risky? If you want to get risky, you go money line with them too, plus 160. Those are my 2 bets for you. You can take them or leave them.
I don't know.
I love that. Low key.
I'm all over the Jazz.
I'm
We were just talking about it. I mean, they were the best team all season, and I'm gonna ride with it again. And I'm gonna fade the hell out of Paul George because
We're talking game 3 narratives, and we got the home teams
we
or the
benching
teams
Paul
down
George.
coming home.
We benching Paul George. We got the hot Jazz. I'm all over them, and they're plus 4.5. I don't care about if they're on the road. Give me them.
Quick note before we end the pod. Sixers win game 3, 127-111.
That's
so
final.
we'll cover that more in depth next episode.
That's final.
2-1 Sixers lead. That's big.
No way.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, Trae Young. Jake, what do you think? Trae Young.
I don't know, bro. They might have figured out Trey and company.
I mean, they lost.
Sixers and 7.
Who got who's hurt on the Hawks?
DeAndre Hunter.
Hunter's out for the rest of the playoffs.
Yep.
Just tragic. But yes, we'll cover that more. Yeah, should we end her off? This is a good little talk.
Yeah, great talk. Thanks for joining us today, Jake. Always a pleasure having you and chatting over some sports.
Yeah, I'm
Glad
sure we'll
to
see you soon.
hear your takes.
For sure. Go Italy, baby. Euro Cup. Let's go.
Oh man,
Seal the deal.
it's crazy. Italy, man. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in once again to our podcast, the Bench Banter podcast with Alex and Zach. If you're listening on Spotify, go ahead and hit that follow so you can stay tuned with all our podcasts. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and leave a comment. Anything you'd like to see in the next podcast. Ask some questions, man.
Yeah,
Love some
we
questions.
always love hearing your guys' questions and recommendations. Like I said, we already implemented a recommendation from one of our followers. So
Yeah, the little benched.
yeah, we hope you guys liked our new segment. Be sure to come back. Sorry about that. Next Monday. Are we doing Monday or are we doing Tuesday?
We'll drop Monday, right? No, we'll drop
Monday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll drop next Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday with the next episode. Make sure to tune in there. Turn on the post noties. Make sure you can stay with us. And yeah, once again, thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Peace.